What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. After Sound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here in this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. All right, guys, if you watched the last video, then this is kind of, that was kind of the inspiration for this, as well as the town hall earlier tonight. And yes, I will be coming out with the 5 biggest takeaways from the town hall very soon, so keep an eye out for that. But what I wanted to talk about is how many people could actually play in Splinterlands. And I want to take a look at this not from a card perspective, because I think it's much more difficult. Plus, not everybody needs the same cards. Not everybody needs all of the cards in order to play and compete. In fact, you could just have one Splinter, not even maxed out, and you'd be able to play and probably win some games here and there. Again, your experience probably wouldn't be that great, but again, just trying to talk about, just trying to say why I wouldn't include cards. That is why I'm focusing on SPS. And one thing that is great about SPS is that it is deflationary. Unlike cards as an asset class, SPS itself is deflationary, and it is required for you in order to earn any kinds of rewards in the game. Not just SPS rewards, but also in-game rewards. We have the Soulbound reward chest or Soulbound reward cards and the chest right now. But if you're watching this at some point in the future, it's going to switch over to a reward shop where you use your reward points. So in order to get significant reward points, you'd need to have significant SPS staked. So the best way that I could think to do this, and again, it's very simple, it's very rudimentary, but I'm just trying to share the numbers with you here, and then we can kind of play around with them. There's 3 billion tokens that will be minted. And in fact, we've already burned a good amount of them. You can see we've already burned almost, 115 million so far. Right, so the maximum supply is actually 2.884 billion, but just using easy numbers. Let's just start off with the 3 billion tokens, and I want to look at it this way. Obviously, some people have way more SPS than this, but let's say you wanted to get every player at around 10,000 SPS. And 10,000 is significant because that allows you to play and earn decently in silver. And to me, silver is really kind of like where things start to open up and shake out a little bit. Again, obviously, everybody wants to play at the higher levels, but if you have 10,000 SPS, you can earn decently well in silver for whatever, decent is in that level. Again, just looking at like the 10x multiplier, which is going to matter less and less as new players come in. So if you just do 10,000 SPS, 3 billion divided by 10,000 means we could have 300,000 players maximum playing this game. And the reason I want to get at this is because, Matt's talked about the fact that they want to do marketing and get, more people and have like a player base in the hundreds of thousands. So in a sense, it is feasible from an SPS standpoint, right? Because you could get, enough people that want to stake 10,000 SPS. And it'd be crazy if we actually got 300,000 people that were all trying to stake 10,000 SPS. In fact, we could even look at that now. And if like the goal is to get to 10,000 SPS, 2.884 means we're only looking at like 288,000. And if you consider the fact that more than half of the supply has not been minted, we only have 1.2 billion, right? 1.2 billion. That's 120,000 players. And we're probably not going to mint that much more between now and we'll say like the end of the bull run next year. We'll mint a decent amount, but we're also going to burn a lot more, not to mention the fact that land at some point is going to require SPS staked and delegated there. Hopefully Soul Keep, this was discussed in the past. We even had a kind of vote for delegation for Soul Keep in order to earn in that game. So, I don't know what's going to happen with that anymore, but I do hope that it does provide some direct SPS utility. All that stuff would eat into this. So as we take a look, over the next, we'll just call it 12 months, and considering that we're burning a decent amount of SPS, we'll continue to burn SPS, but we'll also be adding to the overall supply, right? And this includes also what's in the DAO. If you think about it too, I think the DAO has about 100 million. So you could even take this down to like 110,000. It's a lot of players, considering the fact that in the last video, we just talked about the fact that there's probably less than 1,000 players. But it does make for an interesting kind of thought experiment that, and I've said this before, like this is a game that's never going to have like millions of players. And I said that in the sense like it's too niche, right? Not only is it a trading card game, which tends to be a very niche genre of games, but it's also a Web3 trading card game on a very small, what's that called? Layer 1 chain, Hive, that nobody really knows about. And obviously it's just like if Magic the Gathering has 10 million players, I don't think we're going to have 10 million players. I think it'd be a struggle for us to even get 1 million players, right? Considering the depth and longevity that something like Magic the Gathering has had. So now this almost kind of confirms that, like literally from I don't want to say physical because it's obviously all digital, but like just from a mechanical standpoint, you can't have that many players, like millions of players, or even like in the high, 6-figure players, unless each of these players just is okay having like 1,000 or 2,000 SPS. Because keep in mind that 10,000 SPS per person is based on the fact that like not, people aren't holding more than that. I'm holding well above 10,000, and there's people holding well above where I am, right? We're talking about the millions, maybe even like the tens of millions or multi-millions. So when you think about that, I mean, and the amount of players that would want to come in and be trying to take SPS off your hands or off my hands, again, that's great for the SPS price overall, and that's kind of a virtuous feedback loop that would continue to go up because all of a sudden the rewards would be better. People would be wanting to earn SPS, therefore they'd be buying SPS in order to play. So it's all like good things in a sense, but again, it just made me think about like what are the max amount of players that could play if the goal was to get to 10,000 SPS. And I think we have our number now. It's definitely less than 300,000. And over the next year or so, it's probably going to be less than 120,000, maybe even less than 100,000, considering all of the other utility that's going to be required of SPS and the fact that there are people who have significantly more than 10,000. So, again, I don't know where this game goes. Obviously, I'm very excited about all the changes that are happening in Splinterlands, and I'm excited about the potential over the upcoming bull run. But man, if we could get to 10,000, I'm sorry, not 10,000, but like 50, 60, maybe even 100,000 players this cycle, which I know is like super out there, super bullish. People are going to think I'm just drinking the Kool-Aid at this point. It's just a thought experiment. If we were to get to 10,000, or sorry, 100,000 players that were all actively trying to get a decent staked SPS position, not because they're trying to like, not because like they're trying to make a ton of money, but because the rewards are well worth it once you get to 10,000 SPS, depending on the league that you're playing in. Again, it all comes back to the gaming for me. So if you can get all those people that are trying to get that, if you can get 100,000 people that are trying to attain that level, I mean, that's going to do some wonders for the SPS price, in my opinion, because I know a lot of people are not planning to let go for a long time, and there's just not that much out there. There really is just not that much out there. In fact, if you look at this, there's 330 million, right? 330 million SPS out there that is currently liquid. And I would say that this probably includes what's sitting in liquidity pools as well. So just sharing that as, again, a fun stat, something to think about as we go through and we hopefully ramp up our marketing efforts and all the stuff. So the flywheel is in effect. We're burning even more SPS, which means even less players will be able to attain that goal of 10,000 SPS potentially. And again, I'm just pulling that number out of my butt, right? Although I do think that it has some significance in being kind of like close to the 10x multiplier for silver. So we'll see how things play out. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. How are you feeling about that? And do you think we can attain a significantly high number of players for, the foreseeable future? I would love to know your thoughts in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll catch you all in the next video and see you around the game. Take care.